So, a new Overwatch control map based in Busan, Korea, and a rather shallow dive into the world and backstory of D.Va. Let's briefly talk about and discuss all of the updates covered at the Korean Overwatch Fan Festival, and let's start with the new map, of course Busan, which is now playable on the PTR, something I'm not able to do as I'm recording this on my laptop. I'm currently away from home, which sucks, so I'm afraid that the quality of footage being shown in this video is going to be slightly less than optimal. But all in all, the new map looks great. It's extremely colourful, it's extremely vibrant, it is obviously steeped in Korean culture from the bottom up, and we will also get to visit D.Va's mech base, which was of course one of the focus points of the D.Va cinematic, which we will get to in just a little bit. I for one am pretty hyped to get a closer look at the other mech suits and maybe learn a little bit more through those about the other members in D.Va's kind of Power Ranger mecha team that's going on. Obviously we get to see D.Va's trophy collection as well. There's a lot of kawaii stuff going on if that's your thing. And all in all, this is looking like a great map. I think that a lot of us were kind of hoping for a new game mode entirely, and lots of people have conflicting ideas about that. A lot of people are happy with the game modes that already exist. What do you guys think? Would you like to see a new game mode completely? I'm really hoping for something like an Overwatch gun game, or like I discussed in the previous video, maybe something like a Heroes of the Storm style game mode in which you unlock a extremely powerful NPC to help you crush your enemies. But control maps are some of my favorite maps as well, so hey, Busan is definitely a welcome addition. And this brings us to the D.Va cinematic. Shooting Stars, I believe it was called. So this cinematic obviously came as a surprise to nobody. I think a new map, new cinematic, it's about exactly what we expected from this latest batch of updates. And also of course D.Va being the star of the show, with the convention also set in Korea. Yeah, no surprises there. Now I am one of the QQers, at risk of sounding, you know, entitled and all of that good stuff, who is hoping for a cinematic that might advance the plot a little bit, rather than just kind of tapping into backstories. And don't get me wrong, those backstories do have a place in Overwatch lore, and it's really cool to learn more about the role of the heroes in the past and in the present. But it'd be also really nice to see the story kind of advanced, maybe see a character killed off in some crazy epic way or something like that in a kind of flash forward cinematic. Well, this cinematic offered none of that. So a little bit disappointing for, you know, those crazy entitled sons of guns like myself. And maybe we should take the cinematic as a hint that, well, at least for a long time coming, we should just continue to expect these backstory, flashback kind of fleshing out style animated shorts. I do think that all in all, the cinematic was great. It was an awesome visual spectacle to watch, but as far as story goes, it didn't really do a whole lot. It didn't have that emotional punch that the other animated shorts did have. And from what I can see, you know, just browsing Reddit, which maybe that's not the best source of critique for an Overwatch animated short, but the sentiment was that the animated short was kind of lacking that emotional punch. There was no crazy crescendo, there was no tear-jerking moment or anything like that. Which maybe that's fine. Maybe if every animated short was kind of built around some crazy heart-wrenching moment, that might get old pretty fast. Now there's a few other trolly comments that people like to throw out there. You know, D.Va's friend-zoned friend, and all the comments about, well, why doesn't Korea just invest in some kind of military defense unit rather than relying on one teenage girl to defend the entire country? One thing I couldn't help but notice, however, that not a lot of people seem to be commenting on, at least in this way, is this still image right here. Hopefully I've paused it on just the right moment. Of course, D.Va is on a team of what looks like 5 mecha, I guess, what would you call them, just gamers or pilots. And I'm just saying, they look pretty triggered and disgruntled that D.Va is getting the spotlight right here on this happy little interview panel. Especially that grill on the right, man. She looks quite upset about life. Now, I'm not saying that the new hero is going to be a member of D.Va's mecha team who gets all pissed and envious and decides to draw from that envy, maybe go ahead and join Talon or something like that. But it could happen. At any rate, the rivalries among the mecha team was definitely something that I think a lot of people would have liked to see more of. A lot of people actually would have liked to have seen a cinematic, at least from what I can gather. A lot of people would have liked to have seen the cinematic of the previous battle, in which the whole mecha team was involved, and, you know, it took D.Va to save them. I think that the kind of internal politics of the team and the rivalries and things like that could have made for a much more compelling character story in a cinematic like this than just having D.Va, okay, she's a workaholic who eats Doritos and kind of saves the day. I don't know. I just think that those kind of inter-team politics would have been a lot more interesting to explore. There was also a small kind of flashback moment as well where D.Va was remembering the battle with this huge crazy Omnic mech, you know, when her whole team was involved and again she had to save the day. It was kind of PTSD style. I think it would have been really cool to go down that route too and really delve into D.Va's mental health. Because let's be real, a lot of professional gamers do suffer from mental health issues. They tend to be isolationists, especially streamers and big YouTubers, which again D.Va is. They tend to put a hell of a lot of pressure on themselves, while at the same time really lacking in social contact and a sense of fulfillment. So that would have been an awesome theme and a very, very relevant topic to explore as well. So I don't know, I do agree that the cinematic was lacking that emotional punch that everybody on Reddit was talking about. As it stands compared to the other cinematics, maybe it was lacking a little bit something else, but I'm struggling to find the words to explain what it is. I still think that visually it was amazing. I'm glad that it happened, but I do feel like there's just a little smidgen of untapped potential. So wrapping up again just by touching on the potential of having these flash forward cinematics that I think would be great. I don't know, maybe I'm a minority on this, maybe I'm just, you know, blowing my own trumpet, but what if D.Va like totally sacrificed herself to save the rest of her team in a crazy flash forward cinematic? Like she pops the self-destruct to try and land the killing blow on the giant mech. She pops self-destruct and the ejector seat doesn't work properly in the mech and, you know, she's got to fly in there kind of, is it Armageddon? Whatever, you know, Hollywood movie style, fly in there, self-destruct, sacrifice herself, save the city. That would have been, that would have been great. Oh, I don't know, maybe that would have been cliche as hell. What do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy the cinematic? Did it delve enough into D.Va's backstory? Should they have set it around the previous fight, where she was kind of fighting alongside her whole mecha team? I just think there were many other topics that could have been touched on and delved into much more deeply in this cinematic. And also tentacles. Anyhow, thanks for watching guys. Do leave your thoughts down below. I will look forward to reading through them tonight and replying to some of your comments. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.